Hey everyone, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Haven Cottage Event Center, okay? It is opening in spring. That is right around the corner. And that is a perfect time to host any kind of small to medium-sized occasions. What do you want? Business? Receptions? Art? Whatever it is, just call, send an email, and I bet your event is going to be approved. The phone number and email is all in the description down below. Haven Cottage Event Center. Enjoy the high notes of life the right way.
One more podcast. It is time for another one. One more podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One More Podcast. We are here. Definitely did not have to restart this for a second time after trying to answer a really horrible question. So we are here. This is an advice segment. And the reason why we're going online to answer these questions is because nobody wants to send in emails or messages or anything to me. So if you have any kind of advice for yourself or your family or your friend or whatever, definitely feel free to message on Facebook, Twitter, if you want to send an email, whatever it is.
Comment on YouTube.
If you want to, if you have enough anonymity. I can't.
Yes.
It's like the Finding Nemo
Anemone.
I hate. Anyways, definitely. If you want to send in a question or anything, we'll definitely keep the secrets, and we will never display your name or anything like that. We'll come up with a fake name, and maybe you will get your question answered. Well, I mean, obviously at this point you probably will get your question answered, so that's fine. Otherwise, we're just going to answer random questions online, and hopefully it applies to your situation. We definitely had a horrible first question, and I was...
To sum it up, call the cops. That's all I'm going to say.
You're right.
That's my advice.
If you're in a situation that you don't know the situation in, just call the cops.
Call the cops.
if you're not sure how to proceed, call the cops. If you're questioning yourself, call the cops.
If you're okay,
call the cops. Okay, here's one. There's no body of the paragraph. It
just a question.
Didn't deleted.
Oh.
But I'm going to kind of extend the question.
Okay.
I stole from my work. What should I do?
Huh. Where does this person work?
It's been deleted. I don't know.
Well, let's see. At the restaurant that we worked at,
mm-hmm.
Did you ever steal any food?
No.
Liar. That is a bold-faced lie.
That is not a lie.
You never stole a cookie, a broken cookie. You never stole food that was left on the line.
Okay, hold on. If something fell on the floor...
Vomit? You ate food off of the floor?
Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I can't really remember. But
wow.
I have never openly stole anything that wouldn't have been thrown in the trash.
At your place of work?
Yes.
Huh.
I don't like this question either. I hate this. Alright, you know what? Just give me... Alright, just... Hold on. I hate all this. I hate everything. This is so bad. This is so horrible. I'm so sorry, Blake. This is stupid.
This is going great.
This is quite horrible. For the third time, just like a movie review.
And we saw Stranger on a Train.
So this is about a movie about Liam Neeson, and he was a guy. And wait, hold on. Let me start over. I don't want to tell you that he's Liam Neeson.
Okay, so the cops. Oh, damn it! This wasn't taken. Damn it! Start over. Okay.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the One More Podcast. We're here starting over for the 17th time, and we're trying to do things that are not offensive and not horrible. And long story short, if you have a question or a comment or anything that you have going on in your life, message, email, Facebook, whatever. We keep everything secret. We'll come up with fake names. God, I'm tired of saying this over and over again. So we're just answering questions online, and hopefully that stuff will apply to your real life. So the first question that I hopefully think is a good question. Prepare yourself, please. This is an intense question.
All right.
A coworker is making unintentionally rude comments. I recently moved positions at my company, and I am now blissfully employed at our marketing department. I have only a few coworkers, one of whom is very young and always incredibly chipper. She is quite extroverted and constantly chatting with our other coworkers. Today, and every day last week, she has made a comment about, "Oh, little cake baker, you look so tired." Or, "Are you feeling okay?" The best was, "You look like you need a hug and some chocolates." I don't know what their pronunciation is, but that's what I'm assuming is if you're saying that, that's essentially what you sound like. I'm always nice, but I'm not super chatty. I prefer quiet and getting my work done. I have a 12-year-old at home, and my husband works nights, both of which result in me getting less sleep than I prefer. I know I look tired, and in this damn mirror every morning, and I try and look presentable. If this snot tells me I look tired one more time, I swear on my head I'm going to spin. I know she doesn't mean anything by it, but it's getting old. Any ideas on how to shove it up her rear, but in a nice way?
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're in an office workplace. The last thing you want to do is build lasting enemies.
Sure.
So calmly, politely, walk up and say, "Hey, some of the comments that you were making were rude. I don't know if you're intentionally trying to do it, but this is the tone that it's coming across. I don't appreciate it, and I would really appreciate it if you would just stop commenting on my appearance."
So you would go for the direct approach versus going through a superior?
Yeah.
Why do you choose that approach?
Because I understand that my superior probably has bigger fish to fry.
Well, but I mean, isn't the point of being a manager or being a superior in any situation to deal with the interpersonal conflicts that happen in an office or happen in a retail? Happen in a retail, happen just essentially anywhere.
Sure,
where you are
a manager. Part of a manager's job is to be the voice of reason in between two conflicting parties. But if you can cut out the middleman, then why not save time, save energy, resolve the conflict without having to bring somebody else in on it? That's how I've always seen it.
Because then what happens when they take it to their manager? Or I guess if you guys have the same manager at this point, what happens if they take it to the next step instead of Blake, I think you're being a little not nice with your comments. And I understand it comes from a place of, you're young and blah, blah, blah. And, I would appreciate it if you could lessen the comments directed towards me.
Are we doing this right now?
Well, no, I'm saying, Blake, I've come in reasonably from what you told me to do.
Sure.
But now, Blake, you're going to be the butthead, and you're going to go to the boss. And you're going to say, I was confronted by a coworker about some comments that I made. And I don't think my comments were very unreasonable. I think they were very, in a certain context of what the situation was, I think they were fair. So
okay, now we're doing what Plan B was.
What's Plan B?
So Plan A is to confront this person directly, calmly, and efficiently. And then Plan B is just going to your supervisor.
Well, but why?
So there's no time being wasted. It's the same.
My issue is I think it could bring more issues if you have a direct conflict, because one, and again, not to get super into it, I have had direct conflicts at work before, at previous employments or whatever, where I felt uncomfortable. I felt in a situation where if you are, and you can be as calm and as reasonable as you want with this approach, but the fact that I'm doing whatever on my computer, or I'm doing whatever, doing wherever, I'm in the zone doing my work, and you come to me and you bring on this, I don't appreciate what you're doing, essentially, is the attitude that you have. It's very off-putting, and it's very surprising, and that would make me immediately go to the superior. So why not avoid that conflict, avoid that situation, and then take it to the superior first and say, X, Y, and Z, I'm not happy. Then from the superior will be mitigated and handled from there.
Because I see it as, because I guess it's the judge of character on who you're dealing with, right?
Okay.
So if you come across to me as somebody that, like if you told on me or tattled,
sure. Well, okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's a negative connotation.
Okay.
If you brought a issue that you had with me and took it to my superior,
okay,
my first response would be, well, why don't you just come to me directly? That's my first response.
Well, but can you have that same response in a, because I agree. I think in an external conflict where it's a friend on friend or an acquaintance on acquaintance in that kind of external conflict, I think that's very much okay to do. So if you know, we have a mutual friend, so we both know Bob. So hello Blake, how are you doing? You good?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on a second, Blake. I don't appreciate the fact that you didn't shake my hand. I think that's okay to bring up externally. I think that's okay because we're in a public forum, essentially. You know, it's an open space. There's no quote unquote mitigation that we both, you know, can, I guess, subscribe to, I guess is the best way I can put it currently. But when you have this structured environment where you're an employee, I'm an employee. This is opposite. Sorry. There's rules and regulations for that. So if I'm going to tackle it, or you're going to tackle it on your own, and you're going to have that direct conflict, I think more issues can come about that conflict if you don't have, you know, HR or management present
right.
to resolve this issue.
Sure, but you're also not factoring in what you're now changing the perception of an employee to his manager. So what if that you bring a conflict to your manager, and that manager looks differently at the employee that you have a problem with? What if that employee now lost opportunities or a different light?
Well, that's up to the manager.
That's what I'm saying. But why even that? That seems like more conflict to me than me calmly coming up to you and addressing a problem directly with, you know, some level of authoritative tone.
Okay.
And
well, so okay, and so then my question would be, in what context would you come up to me? Would it be during the workday? Would it be at the end of the day?
It'd be sometime when we're not.
Before the workday
starts. It'd be sometime when we're not working.
Okay, so outside of the, in this example, let's just say traditional 9-to-5 office job, whatever. So outside of that, let's say we're you know, it's 5 o'clock and we're all going home. You would stop me and say, hey, some of the comments you made during the workday, I don't necessarily appreciate the way you blah 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 whatever. Specifically, you say that in that instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every situation that I've had a problem with somebody and I've come to them directly, and all of my, you know, people have a problem with me, I have a problem with them. Mm-hmm. Every single situation that I've had, it's never gone poorly for me. It hasn't so far. Now, I'm sure at some point somebody will, because it never feels good to be called out on something. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm sure at some point, whenever some point, whenever I do come up to a person that I have a problem with and say, hey, look, I really don't appreciate what you're doing. It's causing this, it's causing this, it's causing this. I would appreciate it the next time you just be a little bit more X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. That way both of us can have a successful work environment. I'm sure at some point somebody will take that and be offended and take it to my superior. But that's the risk I run.
But you're willing to accept those risks, and
I think it's a level of respect too. So I respect you enough to not bring in a third party. I respect you enough as a person that's logical, that's understanding, and
I agree. I agree in terms of what you're saying in terms of the that level of respect of saying, I just want to deal man to man. There's no reason to bring any kind of external conflict. There should be no reason that our boss should be involved and have a negative perspective of what you're doing. I agree that is a valid strategy. But in this aspect, if you have someone, and I guess it's kind of hard because I can't personally say that I've experienced that myself. But if in this aspect, if someone is making these comments and they're not necessarily fully aware of how they're being interpreted, I think it's, personally for me, I view, Blake, you say hello. You're saying these bad things to me. Well, that's just your opinion. I'm sorry that your opinion is that you're being offended. But if you have a representative and say, oh, well, no, Blake's right. What you're saying is kind of offensive. Having that kind of third party, whether it be
what if that
HR,
manager doesn't side with you?
And then, well, I mean, what? So Blake, you say, I think you're being offensive, Yuval, and then your manager is saying, no, Yuval's being okay.
All right.
Then I think then
you can either take it up to another level, or you can.
Well, I think that just says that maybe you're being a little too sensitive. And again, I think it's important to understand that everyone's their feelings are valid, and what they perceive is very valid. There's no reason to disregard what they're feeling, but then maybe take into account the next time they say something, or maybe say, you're right. If Joe says that Blake is not being offensive, then maybe I'll internalize it myself and then contemplate it and think about it in a longer aspect or a longer sense of time. I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess you're right. It does vary from situation to situation, but I think having that third party aspect and say, oh, I think he's wrong. Well, I'm not going to talk to Jake, who agrees with me, because he's the same level employee, and so he's going to share the same opinions. But having that external force, essentially saying, yes, you're right, or yes, you're wrong, or whatever, I think that helps validate some of my emotions and feelings on the situation.
Okay, that's fine if your feelings are validated.
No, that's fine.
In a work environment, I think you build a level of trust and respect for somebody else. Like, I will respect the hell out of you if you come up to me and calmly say, hey, I got a problem with what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you for doing that and not making this a bigger problem than it has to be. I will try to work on that. I understand that some people are not like that. Some people might say, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Sure.
And in that case, it's time to bring in the big guns.
Okay.
But at least you're trying to resolve.
Okay, so then just let's flatline, and then instead of dragging this out for another half hour, I think if you to fully understand how you can handle the situation and how you go about confronting this person, I think it's very, very, very important that you handle it with care.
Of course.
If you don't take, even if you don't take in regards to, or don't take into consideration every single potential situation that could arise from the confrontation, that's fine. But as long as you understand that you're talking to another human being that could have definitely from one spectrum end to another spectrum, can have that range of emotion or reaction, I think if you're comfortable with handling that and you have a response to that, that's okay. That's my only thing, is because I think that, and I guess is the difference between us is, I agree, your feelings are valid, and I think if you're having a problem, you should deal with it directly. I agree, but there's certain aspects or certain situations where you need to understand that, hey, I'm a human too. Let's not necessarily attack me directly. Let's have some type of mitigation to it. That's my only thing.
If you use the word attack, then yeah, it's got a negative connotation. But you know what I'm saying?
No, and I get what you're saying. I just think it can be perceived as an attack.
Right.
It can perceive it as a conversation. It can be perceived in multiple ways. So that's it. I think we've probably killed it enough to move on to the next one. But yeah, just don't be a butthole.
Yes.
Is the...
Just let everyone be themselves and mind your own business.
Mhm.
Bam.
Boom, done. You
Done.
can answer that in 30 seconds.
I'll answer the next one the same way.
Okay, I would love for you to answer this next one.
All right, do it.
I'm obese, and I can't help it.
Mind your own business.
Yes, done. Next question. No. Hello. I love how you said hello. Hello.
Howdy.
I've been obese since 4th grade, and now I'm a junior in high school, and my weight has been in the same after dieting, exercising, and managing it all. I've been stuck in the 90 kilos since last year. I don't know what 90 kilos
I'll
is.
do the conversion.
Please do.
Americans are horrible.
I apologize that we're American ignorance. Can anyone help? My grandfather had diabetes, and it is the genetic type. And I've stopped growing tall in freshman year at 5'6".
That's not even that big.
Well, hold on. Tell me what 90 kilos is before you start judging.
It's 198 pounds.
Oh, Jesus. Am I obese then?
How tall is this person? Do we know?
He just said 5'6".
5'6"?
Oh, well, 5'6" is because I think what?
5'6",
How tall are you, Blake?
I'm 6 foot.
You're 6 foot. Jeez. All right, I think. Then based on
5'11".
Well,
sorry.
no. Like I don't know. I guess I've always said that I'm like 5'10", 5'9", probably around, give or take, around that time. So I don't know. I think weight is definitely and again, I apologize, but I think weight is a objective judgment. Yes, there are definitive health signs where you can say my BMI is totally blown out of proportion and I am very overweight for what my body mass index is. But I think I don't know. You can't say that you have dense bones or whatever it is.
No, but you can. So you can be 100. You can be 200 pounds in solid muscle, right? You can.
Sure.
You have guys that are 10% body fat that are just absolutely shredded and huge.
Muscle is like, like 3 times as heavy as fat or something.
Dense
like that.
or something like that.
Yeah, it's
something. Well, muscle weighs more than fat.
Is the accepted practice,
right?
But if this guy is 5'6" and how much you say is 90 kilos? Is 190
198,
something?
yeah.
198, something like that. Is if that shows, would that be a problem, or is if he just in a perception of if he looks himself in the mirror compared to other people, he thinks that he's fat?
Well, so I guess mind your own business could have worked here a little bit.
Well, I guess the next. Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry, Blake, but
no, you're fine. He's 5'6", and he should weigh according.
Oh, you're doing the the national index
of
health.
198. 198. Calculate. Okay, yeah, he's obese. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your BMI is 32%.
Oh, wow.
So,
don't you agree that some people don't look obese?
Oh, for sure.
It's very much like a kind of your build. Like,
well, do I look obese?
No, not at all. What, are you considered obese?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my problem. It's like
I'm fat, but I'm not obese. You know what I'm saying?
You see, even I wouldn't even call you fat. I would say
really.
I'm serious.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's just my perception of seeing people in high school and seeing people in college and seeing people growing up on television and the media and blah 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 and whatever it is. Because then what are those people called? Because if you're
Fluffy.
if you're well, okay, yes, thank you, Gabriel Iglesias.
Chubby.
Well, but even then, it's like, should we extend what it is considered to be fat or obese? Because
no, yeah, it does vary from person to person, right? So this person is 5'6" and has a problem, and he, after dieting and exercise, he just can't seem to find a way. Maybe it's genetics, because a lot of it is genetic. Some people are prone to. What? You don't believe that?
No. Okay. Hold on. For clarification, I do understand that human beings can be susceptible to certain weight problems. problems.
Do you know what a thyroid
Yes.
glandular problem
Yes,
is?
I'm very aware of that, and I understand that it's an issue. But my question is, and this is just because of my lack of knowledge, is what is the percentage of the population that has that kind of problem?
You can look it up.
Go for it, please do, because I think there are a lot of, and we can kind of simplify this. I don't necessarily want to go into like a 10-minute, 20-minute conversation about this, but I think there's a certain aspect of people where it's easy to cause blame. It's easy to say, oh,
More than 12% of the U.S. population will develop a thyroid condition in their lifetime.
and how many people? There's like what, over
An estimated 20 million Americans have some form of the thyroid disease. Up to 60% of those with thyroid disease are unaware of their condition.
Okay, so 20. You said 20 million.
20 million.
Okay, so that's what, like out of
350 million.
Sure. Thank you for doing math. I appreciate it. Out of 350 million people.
Let's just round up to 360 because that's
Sure.
easy.
Okay, great.
2360 divided by 2. You're looking at 18.
To clarify, Blake is doing math. I am not necessarily thinking math at this time. Thank you very much.
Sorry. So you're looking at. Yeah, okay.
Sure, whatever. Yes, 20 million people
18% of the population.
Great. But 20 million people have the thyroid problems. I understand. What are you looking?
Oh, I fucked up that math.
Whatever.
20 million people have a thyroid problem, and it is more difficult to lose weight if you have a thyroid problem.
But again, you did partially answer my question. I don't think it's impossible, though.
No.
I think it's definitely difficult, and I think hell, for this entire night, this conversation that we've been having about self-control and being able to, the fault is put on yourself. As much as the influences and as much as the problems are there,
the rules are not changed because of your situation.
Exactly. The pit holes are there, and the possible faults and the downward spiral that you can have is there. That's just a fact of life. Whether it's a external factor, whether it's a genetic thyroid problem, whether it's your own personal issues in terms of dieting and exercise, it's there. There are so many things that you can do to mess up your life. I fully acknowledge that. But I think with the right attitude and the right diet and the right whatever, and just associating yourself with a right group of people, find a group of people who are willing to work out with you or whatever it is. I think I'm adamantly, because I've seen the change myself, and yes, I don't have a thyroid problem. I don't have an issue where, oh gosh, I can't lose weight. But I've seen the change myself, and I've seen the significant drop in weight, and the significant how you feel about yourself, and how you're moving about the day, and how you can just walk up a flight of stairs without losing your breath. I've seen the results. So I can't imagine that it's impossible.
Okay, advice then is to maybe seek out a nutritionist.
Yes.
Go to your family doctor or whoever and get a physical. Or go to Care Now and just get a regular physical.
Sure.
Take that to a nutritionist. Maybe get a personal trainer. And try that out and be as strict as possible. And if that doesn't work, then it may be time to consult an actual physician and see if you do have this problem. Mm-hmm. And see if it's a cosmetic issue that you just don't want to look fat, then I don't know, you're a kid in high school. So if it's a cosmetic issue, then once you get some money, then maybe get a lap bands treatment or
okay.
lipo
That's also another thing, and you do make very valid points, Blake. I'm just saying. Also, when you're in high school, it's hard to see results. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to see that you're a kid who's always at the you do football and you do whatever and you do.
We also don't know if this kid is active or not.
And that's also true external to whatever situation that he is now, but it's very difficult to see progress when you're young. Mm-hmm. I think it's very much, yes, you can fall when you go into your 20s and 30s and stuff like that. Your metabolism decreases and you can definitely just get fat. I agree, but I think it's also at the early stages of life. It's hard to see the differences because you're so young and your body hasn't necessarily developed all to its full potential. that you can see the wow, I have a 6-pack and I'm ripped and blah blah blah. Like, I mean, hell, even like the most fit people in my high school and stuff like that were never like that. You know, it's just like it just takes time. So I think at a young age, yes, it's possible to set those precedences and set those expectations, but will you see it? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
I can't make that.
Good luck to you, man. That's being the chubby kid growing up. It's never fun to feel that way.
No,
but if that's a problem, for one, own it. Don't worry about what other people look like. I mean, you want to be as healthy as possible. I'm not here to say that people that are obese and fat shouldn't try to lose weight and be healthy and live longer.
Yeah,
you have
trying to fat shame.
You have a responsibility to yourself to be the best you that you can be, whatever way you see that way.
Sure.
But we also need to understand that, that there are physical consequences for whatever you're doing or not doing to your body.
Agreed.
So I'm sorry that you're going through that. That sucks. I know. Trust me. One of my nicknames was Blake McCow. Like, I get it. It sucks. But keep on. Use other things about yourself to emulate the best you that you can be. And then try to lose weight. Try to seek out a nutritionist.
No, gain fat and just like become a slob.
Try to be on TLC as the 180-pound or 800-pound man and lifted to a hospital by a crane. Do whatever you want to do.
He said jokingly.
Yes, don't do that. That's horrible.
All right. Any last comments or anything other than your inspiring pep talk at the end? Pep talk.
Yeah, stop worrying about what other people think. And
boom, done. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Blake, can you apply this to this next question?
Yes.
I met a girl. I'm really into her, but she revealed a tough secret to handle.
Mind your own business. There you go.
I guess. All right, next question. No.
All right. Tough secret to handle. Bring it on.
I'll try and be brief. This is a couple paragraphs, so I might simplify.
Highlight it.
Okay. I met a girl at a friend's party a few weeks ago, and we really hit it off. She's smart, funny, caring, beautiful, and we share a lot of the same interests, and we are very closely aligned politically. We've been talking a lot since then, and we went on a few dates. But it didn't take much further physically. I'm the type of person who likes to move somewhat slowly and is pretty happy to find out she was too. So they're the same in terms of how fast they're moving in the relationship. This is until I found out the reason she wanted to move out slowly. It turns out she's been hiding the fact that she was Hold on, Blake, can you read the second paragraph for me, please? Sorry, I'm horrible at reading. What is it? What is that word? Explain to me. And
it turns out that she had been hiding the fact that she has ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis.
Okay.
From me out of embarrassment. She had to have surgery to deal with it and now wears an ostomy bag on her stomach.
Oh.
If you're unaware of an ostomy bag, is a bag that captures a person's bodily waste after undergoing a surgery due to malfunctioning digestive or urinary system. I'm trying to come to terms with this, but it's hard. I know it must have taken a lot of courage for her to tell me, and I'm sure she's embarrassed every time she has to tell somebody. It must be really tough to put up with just the embarrassment, let alone the actual bag itself and its upkeep. I shouldn't be laughing.
Don't laugh.
I'm sorry. He worded that funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I handed it to you because I don't know how to fucking read this shit.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to let this get in the way because she's a great person, but I can't help be somewhat grossed out just thinking about it, let alone moving further in the bedroom. Yeah, well, how can I come to terms with this? Or should I just break it off now? And if I did break it off, how do I do it without making her feel ashamed about her condition?
Well, my immediate result from this is you kind of digged yourself into a hole here. You got to know someone and you played the slot machine.
I was about to say something bad, but
I don't know.
You didn't get a bad hand. You just got a different hand, and you got to try to play the odds, or walk away from the table.
My only So let's keep this relatively brief to move on to the next question because right. I think this can be answered pretty simply. In my experience, if a person makes you happy and you have good times together, and you can understand where they're coming from and have this very deep and intimate connection, I think it's very much worth trying. At least give it the try. Give it the old college try. Give it this as much as you can do to rectify the situation. If, unfortunately, it comes to the point where it is too much for you, and no judgment on yourself, if you have just this mental block or whatever it is, and you can't continue with this relationship, at least you can tell yourself that you tried. I think that's as much as you can say, because it sucks. That is a very horrible situation to put yourself into. I fully recognize that that's bad, and to deal with that emotionally and physically, I cannot even fathom the extent of which someone has to go through to deal with that. So I think really if this was a deep value connection that you have with somebody, try. That's all I can ask from someone. I don't know about you, Blake. I've just anything different.
Just understand that it's a million times harder on her than it is on you. It'd be like dating somebody that I don't know. This is extreme, but it would be like dating somebody with like an incurable STD or whatever. You know, that's extremely tough for them to go through. But you know, if it is too much and you can't handle that, then you need to be as respectful as possible, and maybe lie. Maybe lie about why you're ending it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with that.
Ooh. Okay. I think honesty is 100% important in a relationship, in past relationships, in the future. That's no doubt. I'm glad that we agree with that, Blake. I just think if you provide a reason why that's not the actual reason why you're breaking up with this person, I think that sets them up to some type of different expectation. So, okay, Blake, you go out with this person and whatever, she's got like a 3-foot long buck tooth or something, whatever. And you say, "Oh no, it's because I have to go to school or whatever." You're setting up a situation where now this person is going to move on to the next relationship where that 3-foot long buck tooth isn't the driving factor. And who knows? Maybe if that person has the same mentality and they're going to lie to that person and say, "Oh, it's not because of your physical features or whatever. It's because of this external factor." They're going to keep moving on, thinking that it's because of not them. And I'm not saying you should.
But this is something that it'd be different if it was something that you could change, right? So if somebody dumped me because I was too fat and they just didn't like fat dudes, but they didn't tell me, and they told me it's because I don't like fat dudes, that might it is some incentive. But if it's something that I can't change, like if some girl dumped me because I just don't like your face, you just got an ugly face.
Sure.
There's nothing I can do. Like, that's me.
But you see, it's you have that situation, and okay, you have one problem. Like, your face is super ugly, and it's just the worst face ever, and you're gonna have problems forever.
Yep, Andre the Giant ain't got shit on my face.
Well, you know what? Andre the Giant's really cool, and I think there are other factors that go into his personality.
Fine, pick an ugly person. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't see people as ugly.
So shut the fuck up.
I'm not so shallow.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Oh yeah.
So Blake, you're super ugly.
Yes.
And just the thought of seeing you makes me want to throw up.
Thank you.
That's one problem. You have one problem with you. Now, Joe Blow is like, "Ooh, Blake, hello," and then for whatever reason starts dating you.
And I'm gay.
Well, let me get to it just for a second. Okay, Jeez Louise. So instead of saying the fact that Blake, we're breaking up because you're super duper ugly, they say, "Blake, oh well, your left toe is weird," for whatever reason.
It is kind of weird.
2 reasons why I'm breaking. You're not relationship worthy. And this is all external, This is all internal. This is you're trying to process these emotions and these feelings and these well, there's a reason why I'm not worthy of a relationship. So the fact that if someone continuously lies to you per relationship, because no one wants to be mean. I don't think anyone in this world genuinely wants to just, unless you're an asshole. I can't say specifically, but unless someone just wants to ruin out for you, no one's going to say, "Oh, Blake, I'm breaking up because you're ugly and you're just the worst person, ugly person ever." I don't think anyone would ever want to say that. So, but the fact that they're bringing up these quote unquote other expectations of why they're breaking up with you or other reasons why, that's going to add more to your mind. So you're going to now think in the next relationship moving forward, oh, I got to worry about my left toe or whatever. I've got to worry about this thing that's not the main factor. Yes, I agree. There are so many situations where you hit a brick wall and it is so hard for you to understand how you can get past this brick wall. That is a very valid and very real thing that people deal with. I deal with it, and I'm sure, Blake, you might or may not deal with it yourself. It's just a thing. Everyone has a brick wall. Everyone has something that they just cannot reasonably understand or deal with themselves. And moving forward, it may take you 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years to figure out how you move past that. But I think it makes you a very, very, very a better person and a more rounded person and essentially just a treat to date or whatever, or to be in a relationship with, if you're able to figure out those problems. So do you kind of get what I'm saying? I know I totally
but if you can't change those problems, if that's part of you, it's not something that you can change. But then won't that person come along that does say, maybe that don't matter? That honestly doesn't matter.
But if you have one problem that's your problem and that's what you're gonna have to deal with for years and years and years, wouldn't you rather find someone who says that one thing that doesn't matter versus, oh yeah, the one thing that, if long ago someone said now you have two things that's wrong with you, but because they lied and it's only still just one thing is wrong with you. If they say, oh, Blake, because you're super ugly, I don't care, but you're going to think about your left toe. You're going to think about, well, what about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? And it's going to cycle through your head. So if someone's being honest with you and say, look, you're a fantastic person, and they can tell you the truth about your personality, your thoughts, your ideas, your humor, whatever it is, they can tell you the truth all they want, but as long as they're honest with that one factor, that's the only thing you're going to think about. And yes, I agree. It is going to be a horrible process. It's going to be a painstaking process to find someone based on a physical trait that you cannot change. I fully recognize that is an issue with America because we are so shallow in terms of our certain relationships, and that is just who we are as people and who we are as a society. That I can't change that overnight.
I know you can't see it, but I have one eyebrow raised and down.
Okay, well, yeah, sure, but but I think if you have a relationship going forward and you understand that's the only flaw, quote unquote, that is the only flaw that you have, if someone's willing to work past that, I think you can have a more fruitful and more fulfilling relationship knowing that this is the only issue that I have. As long as people were honest with you. That's my thing. Long story short, be honest with someone, because if you're not honest with them, then you're just setting them up for failure in the future relationships they have, or the future endeavors, the future work experience, or just be honest with people, I think is the main point that I'm trying to get at. Sorry, I'm totally rambling and just don't be a butthole.
Yes, mind your own business.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
My business. All right, real quick question, Blake. I got a girl's number and lost my phone the next day. What should I do? I have an iPhone and I don't use iCloud. What do I do?
You didn't remember the phone number?
Boom, done. You're screwed. That's it. You don't remember the phone number. That's
well,
it.
What are you supposed to do?
Well, I don't know. Maybe try and find a
payphone somewhere. Find a couple quarters.
A mutual friend who might know the phone number. I don't know.
Dude, you're shit out of luck. On to the next one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like,
Right. No, that's fine.
sorry.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I don't know. I think if there's a girl that you're very interested in, and if she offers
Just
you
gave
your
you the
number,
number.
you
Okay.
should remember that. You should like be repeating. Okay, I don't know about you, but I repeat numbers to like try and like remember the specific.
I just remember family members and girlfriend numbers.
Well, sure,
That's kind of it.
but how do you? Okay, so then I guess let's take it a step back. How do you remember those numbers? Do you repeat it to
Well,
memory?
I got
or you
those
just,
when I was a kiddo, and so we had the home phone.
so you just had to.
and the
remember
only
it.
way to call mom or call the cute girl down the street was to write down the number on like a piece of notebook paper in school or whatever.
Okay, and then just
And then, hey, have the awkward elementary or middle school conversation over
is
the
this
home
Shannon from down the street?
phone. Hi, is Becca there? Is Becca there? Who is this? It's Blake from Miss Vaughn's class or
You
whatever.
also know that the fat boy in class.
Oh, Blake!
Okay, so write it down to memory, or I don't know. For me, I'd like repeat it. I for numbers specifically, even to today, I'll try and repeat the number just so I'm familiar with it. Just so you know, whatever 469, blah 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 blah. I'll
Right.
try and remember that.
Yeah, sorry, dude. You're kind of shit out of luck.
Yep. Sorry, you suck.
Must have not cared that much.
Life is over. All right. Okay. Hopefully this will be a quick question for you.
For me, okay.
Well, my answer is obviously obvious because you know me and you know what my answer would be. But what do I do to drink on? This is a stupid question. I'm gonna rephrase it because I think this is what he's trying to ask. What should I drink for my 21st question or 21st birthday?
Whew, all right. So, what you're going to want to do is...
Any advice or recommendations?
Yes,
Done.
plenty. So, it depends on kind of what your tastes are, right? So, if you're more of a whiskey drinker... then
Well,
I
hold on.
suggest
What's my go-to?
Captain Morgan and Coke.
Yeah, Blake.
It's the way it is.
Yes. All right. So,
Or if you're feeling frisky that evening, then get yourself some Crown and Coke. Maybe jump up a little bit higher.
I would just say if you're feeling frisky, get a sex on the beach. That's a good alcoholic.
If
drink.
you're a dude, no.
what?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What? What? What?
Anyway, so if it's gonna be your 21st birthday, so
Just
you're
get
gonna
a
want to
sex
live
on
it
the
up
beach
a
if
little.
you want to feel good.
No, if you're gonna want to live it up a little, so you're gonna want to spend a little bit more money than you usually would, right?
Okay.
So for beers, I would suggest something a little bit.
I'm talking about
don't-
straight liqueur, not
Well,
beers.
no, it's your 21st. You're gonna buy yourself a fucking beer.
Really,
So-
you're saying so when you turn 21, you're gonna go for a beer,
I'm gonna go for beers
beers,
and then liquors.
versus a liqueur first.
I'm gonna go everything,
Oh,
but I would go
your
with a beer first.
Okay,
A beer first for sure.
blanket, whatever. Just
All right, I'm
refresh,
21
restart.
again.
You're 21.
I'm 20 again. and
What is
it's
your first drink? A beer or a liquor?
My favorite beer.
Why? You don't have a favorite beer. You're 21.
Yes, I do.
You're 21. You don't.
Oh,
have a
so
favorite-
we're under the assumption that I've never had beer or liquor before
Yes.
ever in my life.
Yes. Would you then
Take a shot, and then
take a shot?
take a shot of whiskey.
Okay.
Put some hair on your chest.
Oh, well, whiskey. I don't know about that.
Okay,
That's
or what? They don't know.
I
what they're,
would say
I think.
sex on the beach is a fantastic.
No, because
drink.
then you're not giving yourself the full experience. You're getting something fruity that doesn't taste like alcohol. It's
But
your
it's still
21st.
an alcoholic drink that tastes good though.
Yes, but you want to know what alcohol is. It's time to go straight, baby.
I guess that would be horrible.
So I would go with something brand recognition on your 21st if you've never had a drink before.
Okay.
So I would go either Jack Daniels or Jim Beam, or if you want to try vodka, go for Grey Goose or something. That's too expensive, but and then beers, just go with something a little bit more expensive like Miller Lite, or don't go for Natty or Keystone because that's just watered down cat piss. Just go for something that quintessential what you think of when you think of beer, when you think of whiskey, when you think of tequila. Go for it.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Because you want to know what you want to. First of all, you want to know
But then-
what
okay.
that can do to you.
All right. Well, sure. Okay. So then it's I've already drank before. Now I'm 21. What should be my first official beer? You're saying just regular, just
Your
lager or
favorite
whatever.
beer. if you've never drank before,
if you're a
and
good
newbie,
person and you've
right,
never drank before,
then yeah. So think of the first beer commercial that pops in your head. Go for it.
Okay,
go for
That's
it. fair.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, on to the next one. You're gonna. It takes a while to develop your taste and what you like, especially when it comes to whiskey, because and kind of beer too. So there are like some beers that taste exactly the same, and then there are some whiskeys that you can't tell a fucking difference. But then there's that one.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That one's special.
Then there's that one. There's
the
my
grinding.
my Ziegenbach beer.
Sure.
That's when I find I'm like, oh wow, this is something. Ooh, whoa, what's going on inside my pants, kind of thing. And then there's that one whiskey that just ooh,
hello,
that was smooth.
How are you
wow.
doing?
All right, I can
really.
braid my chest hair right now, kind of thing.
All right. Well, speaking of chest hair,
I am a 14-year-old girl. Should I be having chest hair?
No. My beard annoys me a lot. Is that normal?
You have a beard. I don't have a beard.
Well, I was gonna.
I can't grow a beard.
Poke fun at you
because I can't.
Can you
grow
really
a beard?
not grow a beard?
No.
Like, have you tried like growing it
Oh
out?
yeah, I've tried.
So it's just like patchy still.
Yep.
Okay.
It ain't happening.
No, like seriously, I knew this guy when I was working at Target, and literally the day he turned 21, he like decided to grow his beard out or something like that, and it was this full, beautiful, like ZZ Top
so
style.
Jealous.
Just like
so jealous.
That's what I'm saying, and I still have like little parts of my face that's just a little patchy, a little bit, just where I'm like, please don't notice it.
Right.
But oof, he had a beautiful beard.
I want a beard so bad. Everybody that I work with has a beard.
You want a beard?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I don't think
just to have one.
Well, okay, all right.
To see how I look, because
Sure,
I have
I
have baby face syndrome so fucking bad, and so I can either grow a kind of full pedophile mustache, or just neck hair, and that's it. Maybe some whiskers down the side of my cheeks, but other than that, nothing.
Well, you should just go to like Toys R Us or something.
Get a fake beard. Get the little what's that one guy that you could put like hair on his head or with like a little pin or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
What is this? I know what you're talking about.
Curly something or something like that.
Blake. The Blake. How would you like to grow beard around that?
It's just frustrating because like I have thick hair. And then I got tons of leg hair, but just nothing on my face. Nothing on my face.
I think that's just so interesting that how some people are just like, yeah, whatever. I just like go to sleep and wake up and it's a full blown beard.
Oh, dude.
Some people are just like,
I'm sure that would get annoying if you had a job where you had to shave every morning, like Josh. And every time he had to go in the deli, he would have to. I'm sure that sucks.
Probably.
But the benefits of having a beard.
Oh, for sure. Anyways, last question. Maybe last question. I don't know. X. That's the title.
Oh boy.
X. Here we go.
The letter X?
No, just EX.
Oh, okay.
X. My girlfriend broke up with me a little over a month ago. No matter what I do or try, I can't stop thinking about her, and I constantly feel sad because of it. We agreed to be friends, but whenever I talked to her, it felt like I was forcing the conversation. Eventually, she told me that she can't be friends until I'm over her. I don't know what to do, and I see her every day at school. I already stopped talking to her completely, but I still feel like poopy.
I'm coming from it from a place that my mentality was always, it is what it is kind of mentality. Okay. I didn't have strong feelings for a girl until my current girlfriend. It's always...
what a romantic sad.
It's not romantic if you look at the other girls, and I've never had hard feelings for any of them.
Sure.
And so, if that makes me sound like a dick, I'm sorry. That's just,
you are,
just
like,
being honest. I know. But, and so, I don't know. I've never been... I take that back. I've been heartbroken, yeah. That sucked.
Well, okay, so then let's take it a step back.
Okay.
And we'll put this not only just in a relationship aspect, but a friendship aspect. Okay. So you got in a super severe argument with your friend, and or he has said something that just really hurt your feelings or something like that. So You have to deal with a person who you don't want to deal with, but you have to have contact with. So either through classes or through work or through whatever, you still have to deal with this person. How do you deal with it?
Just be cordial.
Really, just suck in the emotions and just don't care?
You're talking to a guy that's all he does.
Well,
so
see, my only thing.
Yes, let's talk to the romantic here.
Well, hey.
In the best way
now.
possible. In the best way possible.
Hey now.
In the best way possible.
Hey now.
Nothing negative about that.
You know what? I have to bring our superior into this situation. I don't appreciate you directly.
Yeah, go ahead and take that shit to HR. Go ahead.
George, Blake said something really...
George. Our boss's name is George.
No, our HR department rep is called George. Thank you very much.
Okay.
He said something offensive to me. No, I don't know. I just...
Go fuck yourself.
I think in the lifetime conversations that we've had in terms of what we value and what we respect, obviously, we have a slight difference in those opinions. And
right.
I'm not sure entirely how those changes step by step. But I think for me, and I'll admit, your personal health and satisfaction is number one. That is always important in terms of, who you associate with and who you're gonna spend your life with and blah blah blah, and what your friends and your family and your whatever. As long as you're okay, awesome. Bueno, continue. But if you're in a situation where if someone is in your class and you dated this person and now it's all weird and awkward, I think you should do as much as you can to try and make yourself uncomfortable or not uncomfortable, because whether it's, honestly, having a conversation with the teacher, I don't think that people
really
if it's
about this issue,
if it was you were in a really, if it was like we had a fling and we dated for like maybe a couple weeks, no. But if it's like, hey, we dated for like, 2.5 years or something like that, and now all of a sudden she broke up with me or I broke up with her, I think it's very fair to have a conversation with your teacher or boss or whatever the situation is. Just be open as a person and just say, look, I have experienced this troubling situation, and I wasn't unfair. This person wasn't unfair. Whatever it is. We came to this mutual understanding, or even I because of X, Y, and Z, I ended the relationship. Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be valid or it doesn't have to be realistic. As long as it's fair within your situation, I don't think it's unreasonable to to put that on a third party, whether it be school or work or friends or whatever.
Okay. So your advice to him is, I can't stop thinking about this girl. I'm head over heels. She can't see a future with me. Go talk to my teacher?
No, not necessarily. But if he's being put in a situation where, he will see this person or like,
yeah, they're in class together, or they walk by each other or whatever.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. So yeah, he sees her in school, so it could be in class. Obviously, if it's like, I see you in the hallway, just go to a different hallway or something like that. Don't necessarily force yourself to experience these, emotions and stuff like that. But if it's like in a classroom situation, or if they're in a club together or something, honestly, just drop out of the club. Honestly, in this class, see if the teacher can move desks or something. I don't think that's unrealistic to ask to accommodate. Human emotion is very powerful. It's very, like, you can go from a very happy-go-lucky attitude because you had a great weekend all of a sudden to,
my life is over.
Sure, maybe not that extent, but yeah, sure, for sure. Like, definitely this, I can't see an end to this problem or whatever. So I don't know. Long story short, and we'll do one more question after this, and you can finish your comments on this. I think you should just be open about your emotions and feelings, and those who genuinely care about you, which should be your friends and teachers and school administration, I think they will at least listen. To what extent they will help you, that's to be determined, but they will definitely at least listen.
If it gets to the point where, it'll get to a point where she is almost getting angry at you for not leaving her alone. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he's still texting her. He's not over her.
Mhm.
It'll get to it's the same. Let's flip it on its head. If a girl that we dated won't leave us alone,
Mhm.
how do we react? She's fucking crazy. She's out of her mind. Like, get over it. That's our first reaction, right?
Mhm.
That's how we as guy. Maybe it's a double standard, but that's how we like. If a girl doesn't leave us alone, she's crazy. But if a guy doesn't leave a girl alone, he's desperate. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, if it gets to a point where she gets angry at you, I wouldn't even let it get to that point.
Mhm.
Like, just it's time to move on, dude. I'm sorry, it sucks. Heartbreak sucks. It really does. Listen to some blues, chill out, talk to some other girls, and just it's time to move on, man.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Sure. And definitely indulge yourself in the opposite of what you were trying to expect. Right. Last question.
All right.
Answer it fast. Disclaimer. This is a very deep and I would say deep, but this is a very complicated issue, and I think definitely requires a lot of thought. But
I'm gonna answer it
for the sake of it. Answer it as fast as you can. How do I tell my parents? My brother, 22 years old, is ruining my family. First off, he's been doing drugs for a few years, to my knowledge, and started with MDMA and crossed over to cocaine. He is now a cocaine abuser and has stolen money from my parents and their business. He introduced me, being 20 years old, to cocaine when I was in high school. At his age of 20, he introduced cocaine when I was in high school, and I had used it recreationally with my friends and at parties since last year. My parents have zero idea of either of us doing drugs, and are starting to suspect my brother of using. This is like not very properly worded. I apologize. Okay, so long story short, how do I tell my brother, or how do I tell my parents my brother is abusing drugs without disappointing them with the fact that I have also used drugs? I don't mind telling them that I've done drugs, but I feel as if I'd waited too long to tell them.
It's never too long to tell your parents that you're struggling with something.
Okay.
Let
Just
them
be
know
open and honest.
let them know as soon as possible. That way you can get the help that you need, and more importantly, the help that your brother needs.
Well,
potentially.
it doesn't sound like he might necessarily have a direct problem.
Okay, well then get the help that your brother needs.
It doesn't matter in terms of
no, you're gonna have to
just
suffer
be-
consequences, but you gotta understand that your life is more important, and your brother's life is more important than a valley in your life.
Sure. Okay. That's fair. Boom. Done. It's over. Man, thank you, Blake, for being so blunt and horrible about it.
That's why I'm here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good cop, bad cop.
Of course. Anyways, I agree. I mean, for the most part, I think it's just, and again, we can relate it to the last question. It's just being open, being really. Doesn't matter what the consequences are. Doesn't matter what people will perceive you as, or how strained the relationship might be. If it's a problem, or if it's a situation that may be putting you under stress, or might have a long-term effect on the family, or whatever, friend group, or however it might be, it's definitely something important to bring up and to really talk about, no matter what the consequences are. I think it's better to get it out there now and just have everyone be on the same page versus years from now and then all of a sudden, oh, this is out of the blue.
Or it leads to a bigger problem.
I agree. It leads to a bigger problem would be horrible. So, yeah. So, anything else you can think of off the top of your head?
Good luck to all of you that have these problems. That must be horrible.
Wow. So what are you, like, a better life than ever? Just kidding.
Yep. I'm better than all of you.
Blake has $5 million, and he is living in an island, essentially.
Yes.
And he has no problems whatsoever.
Zero problems.
Good. All right. Anyways,
I am perfect.
Blake, you heard it here, everybody. Blake is perfect. I would love if you could find something. No, please don't dig any dirt on Blake. That'd be horrible.
What dirt is there to dig up? Go ahead and try.
Blake had an affair with a prostitute who was
Yes.
87 years old.
88.
88. And she had 7 children, and Blake is now having the 9th child.
At 88 years old, yes, we're having twins.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Blake is also running for congressman and trying to legalize gay marijuana. Different from regular marijuana.
Right.
So
this stuff just makes you really good at setting up house dinners.
Okay. All right. That's horrible. Anyways, everybody, I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And if you tuned out, great. If you didn't, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And have a great day. If you tuned out, I mean, why? Why'd you tune out? I mean, I'm so sad that you tuned out.
It's important.
God, come back. Anyways, everybody, have a great night or day or whenever you're listening to this damn stupid podcast.
And that is the end of the show. I really hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, this thing is sponsored by Haven Cottage Event Center, and I am making up the words as I sing this song, but make sure to give them a call or an email if you want to do something that is small or medium. And that's about it. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. This is the end song. It is now over.